Special thank you to Seed and Stone Cidery and Lucky Buzz Meadery for sponsoring the show today. They help to make this show possible and supply us with the occasional beverage when we're out there. They've got 10 taps full of meads and ciders made right there in-house. They've also got all sorts of awesome events going on, including an open mic almost every single Thursday where you can come out and show your musical talent. So all you songwriters out there, stop out and grab a cider or a mead and tell them that the Songwriters Couch and the Patrick Joanne Band sent you. Again, Seed and Stone Cidery right here in Rochester, New York. Go out and visit them and let them know we sent you. Thanks, guys.
Hey folks, welcome to episode number 21 of the Songwriters Couch. We are now legally able to drink alcohol as we're on episode number 21. So today I'm enjoying some delicious Seed and Stone cider. It tastes like paying the bills because they sponsor our show. So thank you to Seed and Stone, but it does taste delicious. This is some delicious apple flavored cider. Sally, can you just talk into your mic real quick? Just say hi in there. I just want to make sure it's picking up.
Oh, it's not really picking me up, is it?
Yeah, you got to get a little closer there.
I'm getting as close to the mic as I can.
You're on there.
Hello.
I see you.
You see me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just much more obnoxious and loud than you are. So, but thank you to our sponsors. And on the show we have our first repeat guest, and the reason we're bringing her back on so soon after she was on the last time is she's got some wondrous things to promote here that have come out recently. So before we do anything else, again, thank you for that. Reach down there, hit subscribe if you're on the YouTube, or like and do the comments and all that stuff. Share with your friends. Tell them to watch. And if you've got a songwriter in your friend group or family group or whatever that you want to see on the show, let them know that we're here and that we'd love to have them on and consider them for that. So, Sally, welcome back to the Songwriters Couch.
Hello. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So I guess for people that are seeing you for the first time here, why don't you give them a little rundown of what you do and then maybe what you got going on right out front.
I'm Sally Louise. Hi. I got into songwriting when I was a young kid. Had nothing better to do, and I wanted to be like Taylor Swift. So I was an opera singer for about 10 years, and in the pandemic switched to doing songwriting pretty much full-time, and this is how I got here. My music is more like orchestral folk, although this single that just came out a couple weeks ago is a little more pop, bubblegum pop feel. All He Does Is Smile, out on Spotify, Apple Music, and the music video just came out last week. And I, being a small artist, am very shocked that it has it had 1,600 views last I checked in like 3 days, which is just
that's awesome.
Crazy for me. So it's beautiful video. The song is really fun and it's resonating with people, so I hope it resonates with you.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, one of our previous guests, the one and only Sullivan Slentz, not only directed it but kind of ran or produced the whole
I produced
video.
It for
you
sure.
produced it.
Okay. I brought the wheels together.
Excellent. But he was a part of the...
He was a creative director, absolutely. The creative
That's awesome.
Director,
so again, small world here in the Songwriters Couch and New York. So welcome back. I know you were out of town for a while there, out of pocket, and now you're back. And we joked a little bit about jet lag, but I'll be honest, I'm a little jet lagged
more jet lagged than I am,
today,
for sure.
because we were at the Grammys a couple of days ago, so maybe we'll get into a little bit of talking about that just briefly. Thanks for coming back on the show
it's my pleasure.
And blessing these people with your presence and soon your music as well. Do you think you're going to play the song?
Absolutely.
All right, so you'll get a chance to hear live what you can see in the distributed version of it. But before we get started, we've started this little tradition of doing the two truths and a lie, and then I have to try and guess which one about you. Okay. And now that I've already interviewed you for an entire episode,
It's a lot harder.
Well, I'm thinking I might have an advantage here, an unfair advantage, but I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder for me.
I'm not a smart man, Sally, but
Okay.
I did get a chance to interview, so I know a little bit more about you than maybe someone who was a stranger. So
I gotta pick the obscure stuff. So
yeah. So why don't we get started? Yeah,
all right.
give us your options here. Two truths and a lie, everybody.
Two truths and a lie. I've been to 4 continents. The first band I was in was when I was 15, and in 7th grade I got a fork in my eye.
Oh my!
There you go. Making it somewhat easy for you, I'd think. Just a little bit, but also
you would
obscure.
think. But again, I get back to the comment. I'm not a smart man, but I.
That's my guess.
What are you thinking?
The band 15.
The 15-year-old band. I feel like the continents. You're well traveled, Sally. So.
Yeah, 4? Only 4?
Ah. All right. So maybe you've done more.
I'm sticking to my answer.
I'm going to go with. No, but you just said the 4 continents thing, so now you're trying to throw me off of the scent.
I'm just repeating
It's like
what you guys are
Scooby-Doo.
saying.
It's like Scooby-Doo over
It
here.
could
Where
be
I'm
15. It could be 16. Who knows?
I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna go with the countries. I'm gonna go against my gut here and
The
say you've been
countries is
to
wrong.
more
Okay.
or continents. You said 4 continents.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say, oh, that would be tough to do more than 4 continents, though.
There's only 7.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying, but 4 is a bit, you know.
4 is a bit. Is true.
All right, I'm gonna go with continents.
Okay.
Final answer.
You are wrong.
Damn it.
Allie was right. It was the band.
Oh,
thing.
really?
I only last year was the first time I had a band.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talked about that too, and I probably.
He's not a smart man, folks.
Thank you for confirming that. It's
Anytime.
I get by on my pretty face. That's all.
There you go.
So you had a fork stuck in your eye, though.
Yeah.
How did that
Long
happen?
story short, I am short, and my friends were significantly taller, and they're even in 7th grade. My friend had like a plastic fork in her hand, just sticking out because we were at the lunch table or whatever.
Yeah.
And I turned around, and I just so happened to be in line with the plastic fork and went up under my eyelid and out real quick.
Oh,
But
my.
yeah, that was a fun afternoon.
Did
in
it
the
like
nurse's
scrape
office.
your?
No, it didn't.
your cornea or anything?
Miraculously. But then again, it's a very dull plastic fork.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it wasn't
well,
much
luckily,
force either.
Yeah,
you
luckily
know?
it wasn't a metal fork
Yeah,
in
so
there.
I got 20/20 vision, folks.
Excellent. See, she's showing off now. Showing off that you got 20/20 vision. So what have you been up to? Obviously, you've been doing some work here.
Yeah.
Finishing the recording, finishing the video, and all that stuff. So, what was like your experience with that? Like filming the video and kind of producing your own. Is that the first time you like produced your own?
So I've done
music video?
No, I've definitely made some other music videos, but a lot more low key, low budget. Just my iPhone, recruiting my friends. Hey, do you want to be in a video with me? And asking them to hold the camera and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first time I had like an actual crew. That Sully, as far as producing goes, he was the one who like corralled the camera crew, because I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
But when it came to like location, extras, props and outfits and makeup and hair for everyone and everything and catering and blah blah and equipment, like that was a balancing act, and it was kind of like a quick, like, we decided to do it and a month later we did it. It was a 12-hour shoot. We did it at Staple Vintage in downtown Rochester, and go check them out, they're great. And it was really just, it felt like, and it continues to feel like, this year is the year of up leveling in my career. And I thought, kick it off with a bang. Released a single 2 weeks ago, right? So that is the first of, if I count right, I think it's of 7 singles so far this year.
Wow.
Potentially more. In fact, I'm going to the studio tomorrow to do some more. So trying to keep that momentum going. But what's exciting about some of these videos is these videos and these songs is starting in April, they're going to be coming out from a label in Colombia called Madero Entertainment.
That's awesome.
And we're officially announcing it this Friday, but by the time this episode comes out,
it'll already
be out.
have been out. So this is behind the scenes news. Luckily, we didn't do that on the live video just a couple minutes ago, because otherwise it would have been blowing your whole cover there with the. So that's
all
awesome.
2 people watching on my Instagram.
So they're being released under the label. How is that kind of working out for you with regards to independent versus
it's
like
beautiful?
Yeah. It's nice to have some backing and people helping you a little bit.
And it's not just it's distribution, right? It's publishing, it's sync, it's getting it, talking to Spotify or whoever out there to be like, hey, I'm pitching this directly to you. And I don't have to do that part anymore, which is really nice. I can do my own promo, but it's being supported very heavily. But what's beautiful about this entertainment company is they don't sign artists, they sign songs. So instead of signing you as an artist where they could put you into a contract for 2 years, let's say, and then they say somewhere in the fine print that they can renew that contract without your consent, which happens so often in the music industry, right? And to have that freedom that I know that I can work with whoever I want, whenever I want. But the songs that I made with this entertainment company, those recordings are with them. The rights are with them as well. And so we split royalties, we do all that stuff.
Yeah, all the publishing
exactly.
And
so all of that is so empowering as an artist, because that means that I can go out and feel free. Like I don't have any exclusive contract with anyone. I'm free to work with whoever and continue to make songs without this pressure of like, you need to make an album by this date because the label wants it, Right. So it really is by artists for artists.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So part of that obviously is you're talking about sync and publishing. I think we've probably gone over a little bit of that because it's a songwriter's couch, right? So I'd like to give a little bit of information too for people watching maybe that are songwriters that don't have as much of the business knowledge. How well versed are you in the publishing world and all that stuff? I know obviously with a label or whatever behind you got some people that know what they're doing with regards to that sort of thing. Are you pretty well versed in like how all that stuff?
I'm mildly versed.
Right.
I'll say mildly
right.
Because, it's such, I think perhaps the businessmen who run the music industry purposely make it confusing. That's my conspiracy.
That's not a conspiracy, Sally. That's exactly what it is.
Purposely make it difficult, but trying to make it undifficult for myself. So you just came back from LA. I'll be going to LA on Thursday, and there's a Songwriters Expo in Ventura, and it's just a bunch of songwriters who make a living from sync and publishing and getting together, writing together, finding co-writers and getting my music in front of sync and A&R representatives and just being like, hi, I exist.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And for those individuals who don't know what we're talking about when it comes to sync and publishing, it's not publishing like publishing a book. When we're talking about sync licensing, basically what's happening is they're licensing your song for things like TV or the camera's on me. Like TV or film or anything like that, even web videos, et cetera, and you get paid for having those things in a movie or whatever, and that's sync. And in order to get that to happen, you need to actually put your music in front of music supervisors that basically decide what music is going into a film, what music is going into a TV show, commercial. And I have some friends that make good money doing that sort of thing, and that's probably where a lot of independent musicians are going to make their money, because you can get a song that kind of sounds like, so for instance, a movie is looking for we'll mention Taylor Swift, even though I don't like to say her name very often on the show. But she did just win some Grammys, so that's fine. No, I like her. But so like they want someone that sounds kind of similar to a Taylor Swift song, but they don't want to pay Taylor Swift to write a song specifically for it. It's too expensive. So they can get an independent musician that has written something maybe in that similar genre, and they'll find the song, and then they'll sign you up for a sync, and you'll get paid off of it. But indie musicians can make a good amount of money, a good living off of kind of writing, either specifically like in a style like that. Okay, I'm gonna, like, I have a friend that writes kind of old school hip hop. You wouldn't take him for like being old school,
or like getting contracted to write for a TV show or something.
Yeah,
like something
so
very specific.
that's that. And then the publishing side of it, that's a whole nother complicated mess of,
Which is just
stuff.
If you have an entertainment lawyer and can afford one, good luck, you know. Like even then.
Part of the good thing about having, I think, a label behind you too is they have a vested interest in helping you collect the monies that are owed to you.
Yes.
Because what can happen a lot with an independent artist, they put their music out there and you may have it, included in certain things, but there are all these agencies or companies that are collecting that money for you, and then it just sits in their bank accounts. And then until you go and say, this is mine, they won't offer it to you proactively. And so having a business entity on your behalf, finding all those sources of revenue that are out there, mechanical licenses or mechanical royalties and your publishing royalties, I think they'll be helpful.
Oh, it's super helpful. And more than that, again, because I'm not signed as an artist and my songs are signed, it means that I still have my own, I can still have my own publishing or whatever royalties through, like my pro is BMI. Okay. Some people have ASCAP, whatever.
BMI just got sold too. We'll see what
happens.
I'm BMI too. So, we'll see how that all.
I don't think I mean, unless you're making a ton of money, I don't think it affects us too heavily. But we'll see.
Spotify started changing that recently for like indie, anything up under a certain amount of streams. Yeah, they're like, no, we're not giving you anything.
Yeah, it's
which
ridiculous.
Is crazy.
Ridiculous. Just really. The mountain gets steeper nowadays. The mountain doesn't get higher necessarily; it just gets steeper and more dangerous.
There are venues or ways to get your music out there that didn't exist before too. Yeah. And so I think as a business, if you're going to be in the music business, you can be a musician and make music. If you're going to be in the music business, you need to act like a business owner.
Exactly.
And you need to kind of know the business side of it, because business evolves based on the market and where the money is and all that stuff. So you've got to know what you're doing, and then you've got to innovate to be ahead of other businesses out there, other musicians, other whatever. And it's not necessarily a competition wholly, but you're in a market competition. Yeah. In terms of there's only a certain amount of money out there to go out to people. And you may be the best musician in the world, but if you're just making it in your basement and you're playing it on YouTube and no one's seeing it, it's not being synced, et cetera, you're not making any money off it, and you can't make a living off it. So one of the things I just wanted to point out with publishing, for what kind of you were talking about, purposely making it convoluted and complicated where it doesn't necessarily need to be, with regards to publishing and writers' rights. So royalties are on a 200% scale.
Yeah, which
right?
is so
So
funny,
you have
right?
your writer's portion, and then you have 100% of your writer's portion. Then you have a publishing portion. There's 100% of that. So everything is based on 200%, sort of. Because you, as a songwriter, I would give the advice to anyone that's a songwriter: if you've written a song, do not give up your writer's portion at all. Unless you're getting multi-million-dollar contracts and you're like, I don't care if such and such owns a piece of the song as a writer, I would never give up that 100% ever, unless you're co-writing with someone. Yeah. The publishing portion, that's kind of like your, I think of it as like my negotiation with other parties.
And within that, you also have composition royalties and master royalties when it comes to the actual recording itself. So I mean, this is not necessarily like education hour, but go educate yourself in your spare time.
It's important to know it too, because I remember speaking with someone who was a young songwriter, and she was saying something about like we were going to co-write, and I was like, well, do you have like, are you part of a pro, like performance rights organization, pro, like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, etc. And she kind of was like, no, I'm not, I want to do it on my own, blah, blah, blah. Like she didn't fully understand what that meant. And I was like, well, it's for like both of our protection. If we're going to co-write something, I need it to be like part of that, because if you put it out there and I'm not getting royalties from it, it gets picked up or someone just steals it outright, there's no protection for us as the songwriters. And so I decided, just because she wasn't first in it, to like not pursue co-writing, because it's kind of like, that's, you kind of got to know the business a little bit, to work with someone, and she's a great songwriter, but I feel like now, a couple of years later, she's starting to like get into that world, and she's like, it makes sense what he was saying. But I think she thought I was trying to like get one over on her.
No,
kind of, by saying
I
you should be part of a
I could see
like
what
BMI or whatever.
Yeah, but she just didn't know. Yeah, exactly.
So it's complicated, but good luck to you, because I think that's the way to get in there, especially your music. That song is fantastic.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I think I could see it not only in, I almost see it, even the music video, I can see it in like commercials, like fashion commercials.
Yeah, I can see it in fashion.
Or maybe like clothing company commercial, that sort of thing, or
it's
even
got
like
a
beach or a vacation, like like for sync purposes, or like someone just gets to their vacation in a movie.
Oh yeah, I know,
right before they drown at sea or whatever. Like no, but like it's like just like the just before the climax of the film or whatever. I could see it being in there. So I think you'll have success with it. So what was that written about? Is that about a boy?
Oh, of course, like it always is. Yeah. But to be honest, I really am sick of writing about boys sometimes.
It's true. Me too. Me too, Sally. It's all I do is think about boys all day.
It was a song. I wrote it. Oh God, like a year and a half ago. Almost 2 years ago, and didn't record it until a year and a half ago. So I've been sitting on this song for a long time, and just released it because I finally felt the timing was right. I wanted to release it, but I wanted to release it with momentum, But more than that, the song itself is, of course, about that feeling of, butterflies of like, oh, I'm really into this person, without fully registering, like, even though you're saying to your friends, like, oh my God, it's like, I just can't wait for him to call. Like, oh my God, he hasn't called me for like 3 days. Like, hey, maybe he's not that into you. Yeah. So the song is kind of like from that naive position where you are just seeing through rose-colored glasses and you haven't fully registered that maybe this guy's just not that into you. Yeah. And
I kind of dig that though, because I tend to do that with and I never write really love songs, but my love songs, like there's got to be a little bit of that like undertone of darkness or whatever, or like it can't be too sugary sweet, because then it's like it hurts your teeth when
absolutely. But at the same time, it's wrapped like this like bitter core is wrapped in this very sugary sweet bubblegum wrapper.
It's good.
And so I had a review of this song came out this week, and this guy, Prism Reviews, Greg, thanks Greg if you're listening.
Thanks Greg.
He had written, coming from Sally, who I've been following for a while, who writes a lot of melancholic, sad girl songs. It's surprisingly refreshing, just happy-go-lucky bubblegum pop love song. And he kept being like, this is just so nice. It's nice to just have a fun, happy love song. Even if it doesn't end well, we don't really care right now. You're still thinking in that bubblegum happiness, like, oh, I just like this guy a lot.
Are the majority of the songs that you're writing or you've written in this kind of series, so to speak, like a similar
that are coming
concept?
Like so they're, to tell you the truth, so a little over a year ago, this song was the first of this series that I didn't realize was happening until like a few months later, when I was like, I'm really sick and tired of just wallowing in my self-pity in songwriting.
I don't know what that's like, as a songwriter, being sad all the time.
Don't get me wrong, I love a good sad song. I love a good sad song. But yeah, Allie knows what's up. But
there's that line in that Nirvana song, I love the comfort in being sad. Yeah. There's something to that, like where
it's cathartic.
It like feels
make
feels
me cry,
good.
Man. No,
throw on some Tori Amos. Glass of Chardonnay.
But it's real.
Sit in the bathroom, cry for an hour.
In the bathtub.
Maybe a tub of Haagen-Dazs. You know what I mean, Sally?
I wish they made it in tubs. They have this.
It is a
dinky
tub.
cup.
Oh well, I guess what is it like?
It's a little pint.
Pint, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is bullshit. Haagen Dazs. Let's get with the program. I mean, I need a tub.
I need a
The level
tub.
of sadness. I'm a songwriter.
Ben
Haagen
Jerry's,
Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs, whatever. Anyway, no. So I just got sick of it. I was just like, I'm going to challenge myself to write more happy songs, and without being too sugary sweet about it, which is hard to do with happy songs. If you
Yeah.
want to write about happy things, you're like, how do I not make this super corny and cheesy? But the reality is, like, what sparked this flow of songs that came out, it was like 2 Octobers ago now. It was when it all started. I was like, instead of trying to write happy, just try to write more danceable songs that you actually can dance to.
Like upbeat.
So like these bossa beats started to come out, and these more like waltzes started to come out, things that just like had movement and fluidity to them. And in turn, the lyrics just tended to be happier, had more depth within happiness. It wasn't just, I'm happy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But these songs that are coming out, they vary significantly style-wise. Some of them are like more bluesy and gritty, and others are really bossa happy, like a little Latin, and others are very like Hollywood 50s glamour kind of songs.
Well, so yeah, I feel like the songwriting, especially when I look at younger artists now, younger than me, I see them writing not necessarily albums. Like I tend to think in an album sense when I'm writing something or putting together songs, but I feel like younger musicians and songwriters, etc., tend to write as singles now, and then kind of craft like a brand around each of the singles as opposed to a full album. Do you feel like that's what you've done there, even though it has like a across all the songs probably
I think there's
similar feel?
Beauty to both of those things, where I love the conceptual albums where it's like you just like get drenched in that concept for a full album, like 45 minutes hit me,
Yeah.
But as a songwriter that's still figuring out my sound, I have now the idea, more concepts for albums now than I used to. And I think that just comes with practice and time. Because for me to be entrenched in like a 10 or 12 or 14 song album, depending on who you are, right? To be like, I'm going to kind of sit in this concept and write about all the facets of it, I really get bored. And maybe that's just a product of being a younger millennial or Gen Z or whatever.
Well, but that's not only as the artist, I think also as a listener. I don't think there's a ton of people out there sitting down and listening to an album like all the way through, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Like even myself as a musician, like I'll do that with like, the Wall, or occasionally I'll get into a band that I used to like, back in the day, and I'll listen to their entire album as like a piece. But I do playlists, and I have, stuff that I kind of put together as my own.
Just have playlists of like singles,
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I still listen to full albums, but just not nearly as often. And nowadays, I think conceptual albums are coming back. You see Lana Del Rey or Taylor Swift, to name like two of the biggest stars right now. They came out with conceptual albums in the last year. That if you sit down and listen to them, you're like, all right, this is a concept, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think, there's, Olivia Rodrigo as well. She came out with two concept albums, and they're all around like this same.
Well, as a matter of fact, so oh man, where's it? Hold on one second. I need to give a shout out because Olivia Rodrigo, her vocal coach. I went to her vocal coach before Olivia Rodrigo. She also did Sia out in LA, and I want to give a shout out because if I can find. Hold on one second. Talk amongst yourselves there. But I saw her on the. Let's see, where is she here? Valerie Morehouse. So if you check it out, she's a great vocal coach, and I learned. I didn't have a lesson specifically with her, but she had a partner at the time, this guy Dean, and I went to him, and I think I learned more in like that 1 hour session in LA about singing in my own like vocal, like my instrument, than I did ever. But she was talking about as her vocal coach, you know what I mean, kind of sitting in the background, so to speak, at the Grammys. Like she's down at the floor with Olivia Rodrigo, and I saw some pictures of her, you know, sitting down on the floor of it. But they tend to not get the recognition for bringing out that in their artists. And I don't even think Olivia Rodrigo won, right? She didn't win anything this year,
no.
which is surprising because
it was a great album.
That whole she had a big record
it was
this
great.
year.
I love Guts. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great album.
Yeah, it was surprising to not see her win. But I did appreciate, at least this year, with having like the older artists like Joni Mitchell, which I was kind of like almost tearing up in the audience. Like it was an amazing performance, and to be, you know, at her age and everything that's happened to her, like to be able to put on a performance like that.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I don't know where I was kind of going with this, but what were we talking about? I lost completely. What is it? Olivia Rodrigo. So, you know, getting into the pop sensibility in her, she does a similar kind of thing where it's pop, but it's darker.
Dark pop for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that she's not sugarcoating things.
Yeah.
But it's still in a sugar-coated package sonically.
Do you think you would want to be a pop?
No.
Like a pop star? No.
I don't. Maybe one day, but I have concepts for more of like the route that Hozier goes down, where he doesn't play like stadiums, he plays like theaters. Yeah. My music's not really meant for festivals, it's more for theaters.
I kind of dig that too, yeah.
Yeah, and the way my band is it's, you know, has this orchestral classical crossover feel to it because I have a cellist.
It's very,
instead of a bassist.
That song in particular too is very jazzy. I mean, it may just be the chords that you have in there.
It has a little bit of a jazzier feel, and when we play it live, it has a little bit more of that than in the produced recording. But even so, I mean, I'm part of the surprise. I'm recording a different version of the song that I just released, and potentially with the collaboration question mark. But a slowed down version, which I posted a very small clip of me singing it acoustic, which I'll do in a minute. But it got some people messaging me like, "Hey, are you releasing like a slowed down version of this song?" I was like, "That's a really good idea. Maybe I should."
That's interesting. I'm trying to imagine
because it's a very like high energy song.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go like dance music, like EDM.
No.
Remix.
Oh my God, no! I'm not EDM. I can't even do it. But I can't even listen to it.
But those are popular.
I dated a guy that was
get
really
into
the EDM. I don't know how I ever was attracted to him now in retrospect. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name on here. I don't want to call him out. But I hear you.
I don't think he'll ever see this.
But I hear you on that.
Yeah.
But I could see like a dance track being made out of that too. And I think those are popular.
Oh, totally.
You know,
but now, especially with TikTok, you have slowed down versions, slowed in reverb. You have the sped up versions, and it's kind of fun to play with all of that. But if anything, I'm just trying to be more focused now. I'm finding the crossroads that I'm at is I could choose to continue down the path I was on, which was not publish very much, and just like have it all lead up to a lot of silence, and then like release a song or release the EP or something like that, and then like promote it for like a month and then get sick of myself and then like not promote anymore and then go back down to like nothing. Or I could just be like, no, I'm gonna just keep releasing stuff, so I always have something new I can tease people about or promote in general, and get excited about, because I love the songs I write. I love the songs I love. I'm a good songwriter.
Yeah, you are. You have.
I just want to share it. I'm at the point now. I'm sick of like hoarding it. I'm like, I need to just share it and not get so caught up in that it has to be perfect, which I think is the thing that's been tripping me up. And with this song that just came out, I'm really forcing myself to post every single day about it, even if it's just like a photo. Doing the reels, doing little podcast things like this, like all of that.
I see you doing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a challenge for us as musicians, and I think we've talked about this.
It's not your role.
Yeah, it's like you want to just make music.
I'm not a PR person.
But again,
here we are.
do you want to be a musician and write music that maybe no one ends up hearing or listening to or seeing?
No, I want to.
Or do you want to be in the music business and be able to do it as a profession? Because so there's something to. All right, yes, you're sort of selling your soul by going out and promoting yourself and doing all that kind of thing, but not really, because it's your own music and you should be proud of what you create. But ultimately, that could potentially lead to you doing what you love more often and not have the trappings of like a traditional job and that sort of thing that keeps you from doing the things that you love, and then sharing that with, it's not necessarily a completely selfish endeavor either. It's so that other people can get the joy out of your music too.
And it does resonate with others. I think the beauty that I see every time I release a song or I get feedback from someone is like there have been multiple times, recently this happened too, a couple months ago, where someone just started following me and then would message me. And at this point, I'm a small artist. That could definitely change in the next year.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But at this point, I have under 2,000 followers or whatever. And so I see every message that comes my way, whether I like it or not. And he was like, I just heard your song on the radio. They were playing it on Open Tunings. And
right on.
Love,
that show is great.
It's a great show. Heard it on Open Tunings. And I have never heard you before. And I decided I would look you up and see if you were playing any shows. And he was just like he was just like, I love your music. I had no idea you existed until now. Thank you. And it was just like, oh yeah, this is why I do what I do.
Isn't that amazing? That feeling of like, but also, so you think kind of you're creating in a bubble, or you think that, this is, at least when I write, it tends to feel like, this is me and my experience, and I don't know if necessarily anyone else kind of has that same thing, but it's kind of delusional to think that if I felt something as a human being, it's likely that someone else has, and if I'm expressing it all in a way that's making me feel something, then the likelihood of someone else, maybe not everyone, but someone else has felt that same thing, and it makes them feel that. And if it's something that brings them either joy or they're sad and they can sit in the sadness of the song as opposed to it like destroying them, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's true. I think
promoting, but that's what I'm trying to get to. So like promoting yourself is almost a favor to the world, because you're allowing them to see that and share in it,
that, and also attention span, because it takes so much repetition before someone actually takes action. So I'm noticing that now, like, to be completely transparent, this song hasn't been listened to very much on Spotify yet, even though the music video is getting like close to 2,000 views in a very short time. I'm just shocked. And that's being a really small, nobody kind of artist right now. Like 2,000 views is a lot. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, now I need to take those people and funnel them into Spotify.
Well, I'd say funnel them into like Apple Music or one of the other, because Spotify's.
No, it's true. But for me, here's the thing. Like for me, I'm not expecting to make money from streaming. I'm never expecting.
You're on my list, Spotify. I'm coming for you.
No,
they're great because they do, like, a lot of people have Spotify.
It builds an audience.
And so, you have people like listening. It kind of sucks nowadays too, because you kind of have to give away your music in a way to get people to listen to it more on Spotify for you to not get paid anything from Spotify, so that you can make money or whatever on some other way, shape, or form, just because a lot of people have heard it,
It's tough out there, and I think the reality is if you're going in music to think like, I'm going to make money because I'm going to get so many Spotify listeners, that's just a lie. Don't do it for that reason.
And a lot of times those numbers mean nothing too.
No, they don't.
I know people that their Spotify numbers are huge, but they're not making any money off of anything else. There's not people actually listening to them. Maybe they're on a playlist or something that they just happen to, maybe people are skipping them
more than anything. I'm realizing with this YouTube music video, just seeing the numbers on YouTube, I'm realizing just how many people are listening, because that feels more real than like don't get me wrong, like I really do want to grow the Spotify audience because it really does help an artist grow their fan base. However, seeing on Instagram, seeing on YouTube, TikTok not so much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Even though I post on TikTok, it's like,
well,
it's
TikTok,
views, but
TikTok, as a matter of fact, for all the songwriters out there, I don't know if this is going to be over by the time this gets released, but they had an issue with,
like Universal Music took off all their songs.
So, and that might be actually helpful for independent artists, because if you start promoting your stuff now, a lot of the music that people were using for their videos isn't available.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity, and this is something that I think as someone that has some business sense, I think just outside of music in general, you need to, the people that are successful are the people that sees the opportunities that everyone else sees as a challenge or a block to them, right? So these are opportunities.
People buy when things are getting better and better, and then they sell when things start to go worse. That's when you should be buying.
And then the smart people go in there and buy all that stuff or stock or whatever, when it's tanked. So
exactly.
I think that that there's no shame, and as musicians, it can be very difficult to be business oriented and still keep your soul. So I'm glad that kind of you have a record company now that can take some of that off of you, because that can be, it can be a lot, but it also can be like stifling to your art.
Absolutely.
When all you're worrying about is the business side with the distribution, the collecting royalties.
I don't know about you, but like it's hard to turn your brain off if you've been in business mode all day, and it's hard to get into a creative flow or just flow state in general if you've just been staring at your screen.
Yeah.
Going cross-eyed over, things that really like they matter, but they also don't matter, because what really matters is like if without the music, your business does not exist. So it is vital that you focus on the music. And I think that got lost for me for a while. Like I was writing, I was recording, but I wasn't releasing anything because I was like, oh, the timing needs to be right. But the timing is right when you release it. Yeah. That's the thing. And then you just continue to move and release things.
Yeah, there's all those like, there's all websites like, this is how you should release blah blah blah, right? But it's kind of like the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Every 5 years someone comes up with some new thing and it completely negates everything that came before. And it's like, well, if that's changing the entire industry, then obviously there's no real standard to how you have to release something. I think if like you said, if the timing is right for it, it will happen.
Absolutely.
But also you have to think the song itself may be unbelievable and a great song that's going to be a classic, but if it's not at the right time, and I don't think you could choose that.
You know
what I'm saying? Like Nirvana, right? I mentioned Nirvana before. Them putting that out now, I don't think it would have the impact that it had then.
Yeah.
And so you don't know whether or not right now is the appropriate time.
Exactly.
And so simply releasing it, I mean, you want to do it with some level of conscious thought, right? Like, do it with a plan in mind, where kind of what you're doing here, you're teasing up to something. And I've come to the same kind of conclusion or, theory as you on singles and that sort of thing. Doing less of it, because people get sick of seeing your face sometimes too. If you're constantly posting, people are like, I don't want to see you anymore. Like I hate this guy. Every 2 seconds I'm seeing something. But you do need to do that to get things seen. With all the algorithms, because they'll just bury it. Here's the other thing. I think artists now have it simultaneously more easy because there's more opportunities to get your music heard, but also harder because so many people are shouting into the void. And you also have the algorithm to compete with, and so you don't have that human contact in the same way that artists did, even just a couple decades ago. And so being an artist in this day and age, I'm sure you can attest to this too, that like the single marketing strategy where you, instead of being like, I have an album that I'm going to release, and then you just drop the album and then it's like, where does it go now? Right. Unless you have millions of dollars from a record label that's like backing you and you already have a fan base. For me, I don't see the point of releasing an album, going through the trouble of doing that, when releasing singles is way more, it's bite-sized, it's way more doable as an individual
independent artist.
Yeah.
And it's more fun, in my opinion, because you get to create these little worlds around them and create hype around them. And because I have so many musical influences, like, God, I grew up with classical music all around me and jazz all around me too. And how that has bled into my music. And so my music sounds kind of all over the place. Well, it's not that cohesive as an album. It's so much more fun to be like, oh yeah, hey, this is me. This is also me. This is also what I like to do.
Yeah, you could be a little more eclectic.
And you have a weirder fan base in the best sense of the word, because they're attracted to, in the same, like, I think nowadays people can be Billy Joel because his songs are so vastly different.
Yeah.
And like people should be more like Billy Joel nowadays.
Well,
in my opinion,
should be more like Billy Joel when he was writing. I don't know necessarily about the latest performance that he had.
I didn't.
Yeah, he's doing a little.
I didn't know anything about that.
He likes the. Yeah, I don't know. Well, he's
I'll say it. Well,
a legend, obviously.
He's an amazing legend. Yeah. I don't know anything about his recent stuff, but
into his old age now, and he's. But I did hear that he has this attitude of like I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah,
like I don't care anymore. Like what why do I need to write? Because I read some interview where he was like, I'm not even going to write anything anymore.
Well,
I'm done. I wrote so much
that. He
wrote a new song. He just released a new song.
I didn't realize this. That's cool.
Crazy.
How funny.
I haven't heard it.
Perfect timing, but no, I did watch an interview. It was comforting to hear because I've been going through this writer's block that I'm starting to crawl out of for the last year, and I watched an interview, or someone was talking about his songwriting and how in previous interviews he would just talk about how songwriting is his least favorite part of the process. Yeah, he's like, I just want to perform and play. He's like, I labor over the writing, and so it's beautiful because like. You either wait for the song that comes out in 10 minutes, which all he does is Smile was one of those songs that just came out in 10 minutes. I was like, oh, that was weird. That kind of works. I like it. Yeah. Versus, there's those other songs that feel more like patchwork quilts, where you have like a patch that you're piecing to another piece that you've made, that you piece to another piece, and eventually it makes a beautiful song. But it takes time, and you have to be thoughtful about it. It's a very conscious process.
Yeah. And I think his version of songwriting too is very different than probably what's been written today, because he wrote pop music back then, but he would write songs that are it's like listening to a novel.
Yeah.
Almost.
He was telling you a story. It was very narrative.
Yeah. And it's super difficult to write, a radio friendly, like Piano Man. Like you can imagine yourself in the room. I mean, it wasn't until Billy
his,
the Kid and
fifth album or sixth album that he actually got like a #1 radio hit, or even like anything on the Billboard 100. Yeah. Like, which is again so encouraging. Like you too can make it. It just takes time. You just got to keep going.
I've been thinking about this, and tell me if my theory on this is stupid or not.
More
all right?
Conspiracies.
Yeah, more conspiracy. No, it's not a conspiracy. So my thought is this: is that okay? We're talking about this, right? Mm-hmm. And I think maybe the next. Sorry, I'm moving the camera a little bit. I apologize. I kicked it. So. Releasing kind of radio length songs as singles, there's a good marketing strategy around that and how you can build kind of a story around that. And like you said, there are things like remixing and stuff where technically one song could be like an album's worth of material, sort of. Not with the remixes, the video makes it feel different. It's a different audience you're reaching, et cetera, et cetera. But like, there's no longer like terrestrial radio. You're not beholden to terrestrial radio time constraints anymore. Yeah. And I'm almost feeling like there's going to be this move towards, okay, not necessarily an album, but more anthemic songs. So think like Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Because technically you can write a movie like what Michael Jackson was doing in the 80s, right? With his music videos, with Thriller and all that. Mm-hmm. But he was still beholden to the radio because radio was king and getting your stuff out there. And MTV, sort of still is now, but not really anymore. So my thought is maybe it's going to morph into the video. So the film part of it almost is like you're writing a story.
I mean, I think it's already there. It's already there. I know that you're talking more about like that being just the song, but it's already there. You
But
see
like
that with like
15-minute songs,
Yeah.
20-minute. Why not?
Why not
do that?
I think I can see that happening. I
And
think
technically
what you're
it's an
talking
album, but-
about is already happening. You see, like Beyonce does that with Renaissance and like Lemonade. It started with Lemonade.
Yeah.
You know, she had a music video that was really just a very long music video for the whole album. You know, and then Casey Musgraves. Taylor Swift with All Too Well with that 10-minute video. I'm trying to think of others, but like really like the idea of video and songs coming together as the cinematic thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, writing them as almost like little short films as opposed to writing it as a song. Because now it's so easy, even as an independent artist, to get like to make a video, the quality that your video is and the quality of the audio. I'd say 25 years ago would have been millions and millions of dollars
So
worth of
much money.
production cost to make what you made today.
Thank you.
For I'm imagining it wasn't in the millions
Oh,
unless
no.
unless you're secretly
Nowhere
a multimillionaire,
close. Nowhere
and I don't know
close to
about
that.
it,
Oh
Sally.
my
but
God.
I
Yeah,
hope
like
you
one
will
day.
be multi. You probably got to be a billionaire now to.
99,999.
That's right. Yeah,
There you
just
go.
under. Right.
Just under. But no, I if anything, you know, I'd say I'm very grateful for the people I have in my life because they are also struggling artists and they saw my vision. The people who helped me, like Blake Pattingale, who produced the song, you know, I did pay him for that and did all that. And the thing with the music video is like Sully is a friend of mine, and I called in a favor from a friend, and we just made it happen. And you know, I helped, you know, make sure that everything that needed to be covered is covered. But a lot of people just did it out of the goodness of their heart.
And there's a
which
lot
is
of
just
there's probably a
profound.
lot of like duct tape and bubble gum too to make it
yeah.
happen without you know,
so
and
much.
that ends up leading
So
also
much.
to like innovation or things that maybe wouldn't have happened if you had all the money you wanted.
No, but I think it adds a more. There's good energy around that. Not saying that like by paying someone to do a job, but there's bad energy there. No, not at all. Please pay the people you can pay.
Yeah.
If you can pay, please pay. Right? I am definitely really poor right now. No doubt about it. No.
Well, I'll tell you
tiptoeing
this.
around it. But I
So
will say
wait,
like.
before you make that point, there was plenty of people at the Grammys that have been nominated for Grammys this year, and have won Grammys that are not in a better financial situation
This is
than you
true.
are.
No, it's
and they've made just
no
records
guaranteed.
or music that has, for whatever reason, you know, gotten recognition.
I think I will say, Grammys don't guarantee shit.
Yeah.
It just means people are listening.
It's
to
good
your
on your
music.
resume.
Oh,
That's
you only need one.
It's
you
good,
know,
yeah.
you only need one.
it's good to put on your
And
record because
it
then people are
opens
like,
up
oh,
the doors.
Grammys, that you have some sort of
You have
like
opportunity,
Right,
and
yeah.
there's a certain level of like people are listening to your shit.
It doesn't. It's not a statement on how
But
great your music is.
essentially, what I was saying is, I am in no financial state to be paying every single person who wants to be a part of whatever vision I have.
What you feel they deserve.
Exactly. Oh my God. If I had all the money in the world to pay everyone who is involved just for the music video alone, every single one of them would be paid a lot of money because we put in so much time, and it was just such concentrated, focused effort to do it in an efficient amount of time, get the best possible product and end result. And it just took so much of people's time and energy, but everyone did it with so much love and excitement. And that was priceless. Like really, I feel so lucky to have the people in my life helping me with this, because I have more videos coming out more music coming out this year, right? And music that I'm still in the works currently that I hope to release this year. And it's just every single person is doing it because they really love it and believe in it. And I'm noticing that about the songs that I'm creating. It's attracting the right people. And I think that's how you know you're onto something good. You're onto something good when the right people are just showing up and being like, hi, I would like to be a part of this too. Hi, how can I help? And you're like, oh my God, thank you. I can't pay you. Would you still like to do it? And they're like, yes. Or I can pay you in royalties if this gets picked up.
Right.
Because I have no clue.
And not your writing.
No.
Not
You
your
do
writing
splits.
portion.
Do splits, baby.
You do
Do
some
splits.
splits. You can do some of your publishing, maybe if you're giving it off to a publishing.
that flexible, but I do the splits.
Don't give off your writing rights. If I find out any of you,
Yeah.
out there. I will come to your house and give you a spanking. Cut to this camera. If any of you give away your writing, I will spank you. I will call your mom or your dad or
spicy.
whoever, your grandma, and be like, they need to be punished. There's, don't do it, okay? Just listen.
Be good.
Listen to me on that, if nothing else. So.
We got 5.
So we're getting the 5 minute warning
Can
here.
I play my song? Dad,
Yes,
please?
yes, 100%. So I want to say this before we go over there. To the song. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And it's always really a pleasure speaking with you. And the last time we had such a great conversation. I know I had my daughter running the camera here, and we had the weird angle on you. The amount of comments, maybe you should consider changing the angle of the cameras. That's what I'm like.
Angle.
I know it was
not Allie.
Yeah, it was not the
Allie, your name
wonderful
has been cleared.
Allie,
You're not framed
our
anymore.
producer. she was out of commission that particular day.
Yeah.
So we'll have you perform something. Let's have you promote yourself. Where can people find you? I'll give them the spiel about subscribing, etc. And then we'll cut back to you and just move the mic down in between you when you start to perform.
All right, for now, hello. I'm Sally Louise. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the stuff.
And we'll post the links too, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
Sally Louise Sings. That's my handle for everything, including my website, sallylouisesings.com. But more than that, I got a new song that just came out that I'm about to play for you called All He Does Is Smile. The music video just came out on YouTube. I would love for you to check it out. We put a lot of love and work into it, and it's just so beautiful. I love it. And it's making people's weeks. That was a comment I got. It made my week. I'm like,
they're weak, not even their day.
To be fair, she had knee surgery, so that was was a rough week. But it's a beautiful thing. And I have so many more singles coming out this year with more in the works to release. So I don't even know the final number, but you can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, all that stuff. So
yeah, and like I said, we'll post the links to all of Sally Louise's materials and social medias and the like. And cut to this camera if you could here. Cut to this camera. So if you have yet, and you've been watching the show, even if you're just watching it for the first time, go down there and hit subscribe for me. Go ahead and comment. Share this with people. And again, if you know a songwriter or you know people that would be interested in learning more about the songwriting process and the human element to it, share the show with them. We've, of course, got merch, and there'll be a link in the thing. So we've got hoodies, T-shirts, and hats, I think. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. We got to get condoms or something crazy.
You used to have Patrick Joanne band thongs.
We did have thongs, for a little while.
That's fun.
And my band. I mean, you can go download that or find that or whatever. I'll promote that somewhere else. But you can. Yeah, I'm in a band. I play music every once in a while.
Wait, you play music?
That's
crazy.
But please do follow Sally. I think that this is just kind of the beginning of your like you said, leveling up, for whatever that means with regards to music. I think your music is at the level already.
Thank you.
The business part of it, I can understand that part of it. So it's an uphill battle. Thank you for coming on the show and helping us too, because every time you come on, your face is much more pleasant to look at, I'm sure, than mine is all these weeks, especially after being on a plane for a bunch of hours yesterday. I was a little rough this morning, but yeah, I know.
Anyway.
But so tell them again one more time the name of the song.
This is All He Does Is Smile.
All He Does Is Smile by Sally Louise. Go download it, watch it on YouTube, and all that stuff on that video too.
All that stuff. But without further ado.
Yeah, let's hear it.
My
what you're staring at. All he does is smile. Call me baby again. Hello. For a minute, just pretend that we're cuddled in a room, cozy as can be, and before you even know it, we're tangled like a tree. Baby, 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 sing to me. I told my friends that we were inside, and we're having the time of our lives. There's no playing games with no way. No, we're just better together in every way. What you're staring at, all he does is smile. Oh, to be feeling so lonely, sweeter than sugar all the time. All my pockets are overflowing from every time you call me a dime. Told my friends that we were in time, and we're having the time of our lives. There's no playing games in your own way. No, we're just better together in every way. What you're staring at, all he does is smile. Oh, no, no, there's no playing games in your own way. No, we're just better together in every way. What you're staring at, all he does is smile.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sally Louise.
Thank you so much.
I'm giving up on songwriting now.
No,
You've done it. You've put me
Don't
over
give
the
up.
I'm done.
don't give
I get-
up. You still have friends.
Well, that was very encouraging. All right, I don't give up. I'm back. I'm back, everybody. It was
You're
a
back.
short-lived
Yes.
retirement, but I'm back.
Well, thank you so much for.
Sally
I'm
Louise,
just
love having you on, and
pleasure.
And we will have you on again next time you have a release. You let me know.
I will.
And I expect everyone watching and listening to go watch the video. We're gonna watch
Expectations are
it.
high. Whoa.
We're gonna actually watch it right after this, just for our sakes too,
Just for
and we
shits
can
and
we
gigs,
can
yeah.
comment on it and be like, oh, do you like the little Easter eggs in there? Is there an Easter egg
Yes,
maybe
there is.
someone can look for in there? That's
There's I'm not.
did you hide stuff
I'm
in?
not of the Taylor Swift variety where I'm that diabolical.
Okay.
But I can say that there's a couple fun Easter eggs. The one I'd say to keep an eye out for.
Wait, you'll hear it only here.
Only
Don't
here.
share this unless someone is watching this episode to this point. We've saved this for now. So
there's little in the shop that we filmed it in, they sell vintage Playboy magazines, and in one of the shots, including the opening shot, you might see it, but at least a corner of it, but we had hidden Playboys in the music video.
spicy.
Yeah, so go find those hidden Playboys.
Not for the kids. Not for the kids. Here.
Oh, it's just the
Yeah,
color.
although Playboy, I think they stopped having nude models in it, right?
Well, these are from the 70s. So
Oh, okay, so they're
all
definitely
bets
nude,
are
yeah.
off.
Well, they're
Full
still
bush.
covered. They're
Full bush.
fully covered still, regardless
At
of
least the
clothing
cover,
options.
yes,
That's
fully
right.
covered, so we're good.
But Sally Louise, again,
My
thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for being on. We'll have you on the next one, and maybe we'll bring some of those 70s Playboys into the studio here and
Yeah,
have
why
them
not?
laying around.
Have a little fun.
But go watch the video. Allie, thank you so much. I know
Thanks,
you
Allie.
retired today too, and we're doing a little bit of a late one. But to everyone listening, thank you guys again for listening, guys and gals, and
Thank you.
and whoever you are out there. And we really appreciate it. And on to the next one. Again, episode 21. We're coming on a quarter of 100 soon. So,
Wow.
Again, thank you guys, and don't forget to subscribe, share it. I can say that only so many times in an episode before I get sick of myself. So, yeah, see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
And yeah, bye.
Mm.